All right, good morning. Good morning. No, we're still not on. Are we on? We're on. Yes, if you can just finish those surveys as I'm talking, that'll be great. You can then fold them up. Remember that it's anonymous. No one's going to know it's you. But it is a survey that we do every year just so that we can get a measure of what's happening in the life of the church. It's just an indication. And so as we said, if you could put them in those boxes at the back, and you can leave the pens there at the back. If you want to take the pen home, you can take the pen home. Okay? That's up to you and your conscience. Right. So, this is that day of the year where we do a bit of an update on what's been happening in the life of the church and also what's happening in the next 6 months. And it's really important that we do this because if I went back to January, from the last time I went through some of this, there's been a lot of new people that have joined the church that would not even know any of this stuff. But it's also important for us that are part of the church to know what's been happening on a more macro scale in the life of the church and what's still to come this year. And there's a timely reminder for all of us to continually remember our values and what we stand for and what we're about as a church. And so I'm going to give you a bit of a quick glimpse of that this morning. So I hope that it's encouraging for you to see what's been happening in the life of the church. All right, let's get started. Can I have my next slide, please? We've done that one, so we'll go to the next one. Okay, so I want to start from the very basics. This is the vision of our church. It's really simple, bringing life to our communities. That's the heart of what we want to do as a church. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and we want to bring Jesus to our communities. That's the bottom line for our church. That is the ultimate goal of our church, to bring Jesus to our communities. It used to say community, but over the last few years we have expanded and we now have 2 campuses, and as you'll see this morning, it's our intention to keep expanding the size of our communities. Also, when we talk about communities, we don't just talk about church, because you're involved in a heap of different communities that I'm not involved in, but together they're our communities. Because where you go and live, there's a community right there, and where you work, there's a community there. Where you go to school, there's a community there. There are so many different communities that interact with our church community, and so we see as the role of our church to bring life to all our communities. And we keep it really simple. There are 3 things that we really want to encourage our church to do. Just 3 things. 3 values that we believe if we uphold as a church, we're going to go a long way to achieving this vision. 3 things. Now, you will have seen some of these things, if you're new to the church, on people's jumpers, because we've got some hoodies that people have been wearing from time to time. So you will have seen these couple of words on different jumpers. And so hopefully this morning that'll make sense as to why those people have them. So let's go to the first one. Keep it real. Know genuinely. We believe it's so important that we as a church are genuine with other people. We've got to be honest. We've got to be real. We encourage you to get to know the people in your community genuinely. Don't just pay it lip service. Genuinely get to know them. Get to the point that you can actually open up with them and talk with them and share with them and be part of their world. And so that's all we say. It's so important. Just keep it real. It's the best way to do it. I love this church because the people in it are real. They're not pretending to be something that they're not. That's a killer for a church. If you have a Sunday group of church and they're very different to Monday, Tuesday, etc. It's so important that we just be who you are. The second thing. So first of all, we've got know genuinely, then love radically. We want you to love other people in a way that makes them wonder. And that normally means that you love in a way that people go, I didn't deserve that. Why would they do that for me? Why would you? Wow, that's incredible. I can't believe how generous you're being, or I can't believe how considerate you're being, or how caring, or how encouraging you are. Love in a way that makes them wonder why. It leads to interesting discussion if we do. And the final thing, we really encourage all of us to be doing is to serve passionately. Serve passionately. Not just serve at church passionately, serve the people in your community passionately. Serve from the heart. Serve from a way that you want to. They can see that you're doing it with joy in your heart when you serve. It can have an incredible impact. We never know, but the thing we believe it'll do is it'll make you be the difference. We can be the difference in people's lives between them having a miserable day and having an awesome day just by going and doing a little thing for them. Sometimes that can make all the difference. And we encourage our church, be the difference. So we want to encourage you to know, love, and serve the people of our communities. When we do that, it brings life. And you're going to see the impact of people that have been living this out in the life of this church this morning. Let's keep going. Our heart over the next number of years is to go from 2 campuses to 4. That's going to require a lot of work. This is something we launched at the beginning of last year, that we want to end up with 4 family-friendly campuses in Adelaide. We believe that rather than this church just trying to go up, we want to go out and reach more people in different communities. And you're going to see the people of this church anyway are already coming from all sorts of different places all over Adelaide. But we really want to be able to set campuses in different areas of Adelaide that are going to enable us to really impact those communities in a more powerful way. So where are we at in relation to all of this? I'm going to give you a little bit of an update today. So the first thing, this is the plans for this is a 9-year approach to get these 2 campuses. In the first 3 years, it's about setting up discipleship and leadership pathways. It's about creating funding to be able to obviously do that. And of course, we actually needed to identify in this first period where we would be putting that 3rd campus. And so I've got an update on all 3 of those today. So if we go to the first slide, Breakout is this course that we run, it's fortnightly during school term. And got some little stats for you. On average, we've had 89 people attending each night, which I think is incredible. On a Wednesday night, that's incredible. But what's even better is so far, 173 different people have at least completed one course. Some have done 6 over the last year and a half, but 173 have done a course. So we believe that what this is showing is we have people that are keen and eager to learn and develop and be discipled and grow. And I think that's really good news for the church. There's a lot more to come yet. We're just starting here with Breakout. And I hope I will be able to announce some things to you come January at Vision Sunday. But I think you should take heart from what's been happening at Breakout. We've got a lot of people keen to know more about God, keen to develop in their Christianity, and I just think that's a wonderful thing that's happening there. So can I encourage you, if you've never done a Breakout course, you should consider doing one coming up. I mean, it's not too late to sign up today for ones that start this Wednesday night. You can go and have a look at those courses at the help desk. But even for next term, I've got a quick look at what's coming up. We're going to be having 3 courses in term 4. One on the Holy Spirit, on moving in the Spirit. I'm going to be taking a course on angels and demons, where we're going to be looking not at the weird stuff that people think it's all about, but what the Bible has to say about angels and demons. Let's look at it actually for what it actually is. And then there's going to be another course there, Discovering Your Strengths. If you've never really known where your strengths lie, Nick takes you through this awesome course where you do a series of tests, and it helps you to work out where your key natural giftings and talents lie, as well as some spiritual giftings. So I really encourage you, take on one of these courses. In term 4, it's 3 nights, 1 hour each night. It's not a huge commitment for term 4. But again, there's still some room in some of those courses for term 3 as well. Go to the help desk and you can sign up to one of them, which starts, as I said, Wednesday night. It's on 4 nights of this term. So it's 4-hour investment over the term into your spiritual growth. And it's free. I really encourage you to take that up. So apart from Breakout, we've got to fund this thing if we're going to build for 2 extra campuses. And so what we've been doing is, as a church, we've just been putting aside 2% of the offering every week, and already it's up to nearly $20,000. So if we continue to do what we're doing, we haven't gone and asked the church for any extra money. It's just what comes in the offering, we're putting it aside. So we've developed this fund, and over the 9 years, it'll end up with $230,000 at the rate that we are going. Because we've got the first 3 years of putting in 2% of the offering, the next 3 years of putting in 4%, and the final 3 years, 6% of the offering. So the church, if you like, is giving an offering out of the money that it receives as well to put aside to church planting. This will be enough money for us to make sure that we can get those 2 other churches financially established. It won't buy them land, it won't build them a church, but it will get us the ability to have those campuses up and running, which is so key. So just so you know, we have started, as we said, we would create this fund for that, and that is well and truly up and running. The next thing is where would we put that 3rd campus? And we announced that at the beginning of this year that we felt that we're going to go north with our 3rd campus. It's going to be somewhere near Riverlea. So we're looking at somewhere between Anglevale and Virginia and somewhere in there, hopefully on a main road where there's lots of traffic. But we are continually praying and hoping for that right place to come along for us. But we are sensing that that is where our next campus needs to be, and that'll be happening in the next few years. But you'll see each year that we start to get closer and closer to launching that, and so there'll be more to come on that in January as well. We also have already a 2nd campus, and that's at Seaview. That's a campus that we took on in 2020. There was a church that was struggling, and then they came and approached us. And it led to us taking over that church. That's going really well. One of our pastors left here to go there. That's Kevin Hall. He's actually on long service leave at the moment. He's been on for 2 weeks, and I think he's got another 10 to go. And so Jason Vandenberg, who many of you will know, and his wife Chantel are down there running that church for these 12 weeks, and he's just finished 2 weeks there. He told me this week he's having a great time. He's loving it. The church there has nearly doubled in size since they took over in 2020. So the church is going really, really well. They've done full renovations of the whole place. They've got their own green monkeys. They've got so many good things going on there. So I'm sure if you ever see Jace around, have a chat to him and give him some encouragement. But this is great for Jace as well, to really develop him as a pastor. Nothing better than throw him in the deep end and see what happens. So that's what we've done. No, he's doing a really good job. So that's going really well. So what's happening here at Port Adelaide? A fair few things have been happening. First of all, you've probably noticed this yourself over the last couple of years, but the yellow line indicates the trend of what's been happening with our Sunday attendance at church. We're averaging around at the moment in the last few months, around 350 to 370, 380 on a Sunday. And so it's not surprising if I show you the next graph of what's been happening, that our church has been numerically growing as a whole. From the beginning of last year, it's 40% larger now. So I think that's a sign that you guys are outliving the vision of the church. Because when you do that, people get saved. We have baptisms, and we've had baptisms galore this year. And it's an incredible thing that's happening in the life of the church, and I can only thank the church for that, because if you don't outwork the vision doesn't work. But that's what's happening. People are living out the values, and I think you should be encouraged by that. And all I need to say is continue doing what you're doing. That's all we've got to keep doing. Continue what you're doing. So the church numerically has grown. That's not the only measure of a church, but nevertheless, well, that's a little bit blurry, or is it because I've got bad eyesight? I don't know. Is it just me? No, it is blurry? Good, because my eyes aren't that bad yet. Okay. In my office, I've got this pin board that I had Marek, a guy from church here, do for me, and he did it on cork, and I can put little pins in. And each pin, different colour, represents the number of families living in that suburb. So for example, if you see a yellow, it means there's 10 in that suburb, right? And you can see the big bluish greeny coloured one right up there in the middle there, that's where the church is. So you can see from there just how far and wide people come to go to church here. So when I talk about, bring life to our communities, can you see what we're talking about? There's so many communities that our church is a part of here. Anyway, I thought you might be interested in just seeing that. Let's go to the next one. As Andre said before, the church here is generous. And year on year, the church continues to give. And if you look at our time during COVID, we weren't even open for 4 months. It didn't stop the church continuing to be generous. In fact, it just got more generous. It went crazy in 2021 from 2020. Who would have figured? And the church continues to give, and it enables us to keep doing what we're doing as a church. The next graph, one of the things it enabled us to do was to get rid of our debt, which we've already talked about before. The church has no debt. So when the church gets surplus money now, we're putting that towards our building fund. We're getting ready for the church's expansion. So thank you so much for what the church has, you as a church have done. Let's keep going. Another great thing that's happened this year is that we've finished our ELC. I just want to show you a quick video on this. All right, you saw 1 minute and 30 seconds, but can I tell you that's about 5 years in the making? We've been so blessed as a school and as a church. Like, these blocks just came along, just up the road, right near our school. And they just came up at the same time, and we were able to secure them. And then the block across the road came up, which was exactly what we needed for a car park. The right things came up at the right time. It all came up in COVID when no one was interested in buying properties, right? Everything happened at the right time perfectly. The board then made the decision, you know what? This was not meant to happen for about another 10, 15 years, but we felt we need to do that ELC now. And I'm so pleased that that's the decision that we took. A bit of a risk when we're doing another massive project at the same time, not advised, but what an incredible outcome we have over there. And we took a few people through it recently, and if you've been through it, you'll just see what an incredible centre it is. I want to really honour Sue Starling over here, our principal. Give us a wave, Sue. You won't be aware of this, but for the last few months, Sue has not only been running the school, but she's been running the ELC as well. A huge job. Our new ELC director is coming in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, which will be great. But Sue's done a fantastic job, and the team at the school. What an incredible job. And Peter Claridge, the builder, and Design Inc., the architect, and all of those, and Clover, all those involved, Climbing Tree, all those involved with that project over there, bringing it on time, on budget, just an incredible facility that we have, and it really is going to set the scene for all our future builds. This is going to be the standard, the minimum standard we're going to be expecting for all of our builds going forward. We're no longer going to be this little Christian school that look at them and they're, isn't it cute that they're having a go at education? We want to be serious about what we're doing, and I hope that the buildings will reflect the quality of the Christian education that we are providing here. It's not about the buildings, but it is going to reflect what we're about in terms of we want to make sure that we are providing the best for our kids and for this community. And so what a great way to start it with an awesome early learning centre, which is now open for business. If you've got young kids, go and check it out. Can I go to the next one, please? You would have noticed this over here. This is well and truly, for anyone that was doubting that we're going to do this, surely now the doubters are no longer doubting. When I walk out there, I can't believe how big this thing is. And I should know, but I still look at it and I go, I can't believe this is happening. It's incredible what you can see happening there. I've got a couple more pictures we can show. That's from inside the school, looking back. It's going to look outstanding when that's finished. Believe it or not, it's finished in December, not far away. And the builders tell me it's on track. So it's quite incredible. So keep watching that space. Can I go to the next one, please? I got to go to Vietnam recently with Sally, and we went and met with our pastors over in Myanmar, Andrew and Marilyn Bowie Chu. We had a great time just talking about all that's happening in Myanmar. I can't personally go in there because of the political situation. It's too risky for us to go in. So we flew them to Vietnam. We then met them there. So you'll hear about some of those plans in the next few months. I'll get Amy, our chair of the board, to in a few weeks' time come up and share with you some of the things that we're going to be doing with Myanmar. Also, this is just one little photo I want to show you. We went to Halong Bay. We took them there. Marilyn had never been in water in her life in terms of where you go swimming, and Sally taught her to swim. It was quite incredible. She was never going to go in. She's like, no, I'm not going in the water. But she got her in, and she got her swimming, and she had this big smile on her face. Couldn't get Andrew swimming, but I did manage to get Andrew in a canoe with me. I said, look, if you fall in, you pray. But no, I didn't. I said, look, we've got life vests on. It'll be fine. We are in an ocean that's 60 metres deep where we were canoeing, but it was the first time he'd ever been on water like that, and because he can't swim. They don't swim there, of course, but it was such a really good bonding thing for us. They're doing such a good job over there, and it was just really important that we just continue that relationship going, because I'm used to going and visiting them, and that's not been possible. But anyway, you'll hear more about what's happening in Myanmar soon. Can we go to the next one, please? Managed to buy the kids some clothes while we were over there to take back. They're not kids anymore. They're teenagers, and they're growing fast. So there's some of the boys, and if we go to the next one, even the girls, they're growing up really quickly. They didn't have any nice dresses, and we were able to get them one really nice dress each. And you can see from the looks on the face there of the girls, they were pretty chuffed to be able to get that sort of thing. But things are going really well in the home. Can we look to the next one? As you know, we've got the second home there. That's used for church. That's one of the rooms. So church is broken up into rooms because of the way the room goes. And Andrew's actually got a second congregation meeting at another house now, and that's bigger than the congregation at our house. So there's two church sites going on a Sunday morning. I think there's a little under 200 here and a bit more in the other congregation meeting at a different house. So, it's incredible what's going on. And this is at a time where it's very unsafe to go out and do things. But, it's funny, when under persecution, the church just seems to rise up anyway. Can I go to the next one? That's just outside at the children's home. They're just preparing a meal for some of the people after church. And if we go to the next one, that's that area behind the children's home. The purple building is the children's home. That's the area that we raised money for last year to concrete, and that's going to be happening. Andrew's getting quotes at the moment, and so that'll happen later this year, as well as then we're going to astroturf it so the kids can do like outdoor soccer on there and that sort of thing. But they said, can we please keep the playground? Because I thought, why don't we just do the whole lot? And he's like, no, after church, the kids love that playground. So we're going to keep the playground for now, even though our kids don't use it anymore. And that playground was built by different people from this congregation. We took about 7 or 8 over there about 8 years ago, and they went and built that thing. Still getting used today. Next slide. Or not. Oh, I've got a video. Yes, sorry, I've got a little video now. This is on top of the 3rd level. This is the church building, right? They've got the 1, 2, 3rd level. And Andrew wanted to build something on top because he wants to use the top of the 3rd story. But at the moment, if you went up there, you would just fall off the edge if you went near the edge. So this is what they have now done. So let's have a quick look at this. It only goes for a few seconds. They've been building that wall all around the edge. So that's where they walk through out onto the top of the rooftop there. So that hasn't happened that long ago. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to use it for yet. It could become another church site. I really don't know. We'll keep you posted with what Andrew's up to there. He sent me a message 2 days ago, and he let me know that he had been waiting for 2 hours to get fuel. So he's waiting at the gas station for 2 hours. 4 hours later, I get another message saying, I've got fuel, 5 gallons, so about 18 litres. I don't know if he sat there for 6 hours to get those 18 litres, but it just gives you an idea. Things are not simple over there at the moment. There's rationing, there's shortages. They're getting about 4 hours of electricity a day. For the rest of the day, you just sweat. It's pointless putting stuff in your fridge. You can imagine, you just got to think through the ramifications of what's going on there. It's a disaster that is happening there. And we'll be able to share more of that. I'm going to share with you when Amy does just about what Andrew took me through, what's been happening over there in the life of Myanmar over the last few months, and we'll do that before the end of the year. Can we go to the next thing, please? Still to come in 2024. We've got a few things. In regard to what we're going to be doing at church here, we're going to be looking at the book of 2 Peter. So for those that love going through a book of the Bible, we're going to go through 2 Peter. We're going to go through Philippians this year as well. So a couple of New Testament books, as well as we're going to have a couple of series coming up, one called Spiritual Leaders and one called Stay Salt. So, and that's a real evangelistic sort of series there. So really encourage you, if you enjoy really going in a bit more in depth in Scripture, there's that opportunity coming up over the next few months. Another thing coming up in September is Man vs Wild. I'm so excited to be able to take the boys out bush, out to Rabra Forest, where we're just going to eat meat and we're going to have a bonfire and we're just going to have a great time of connection. And, the girls had a great getaway. This will be better. No, this will be good. So I really want to encourage you boys. It's $20 at the moment. So get that 20, slap it down at the desk. Sign yourself up after church today. You can do that now. It's $20. You got to bring your own steak, but bring it. We've got a massive steak pit, hey, that the boys built last year. Bring your tomahawk, ribeye. So good. Don't worry about vegetables. We don't need carrots. The girls can have the carrots. We'll just have the tomahawk. Got it? After church today, sign up out at the help desk if you want to come. And it's great to get away with the boys. I'm on the verge of being able to announce who's going to be our speaker there, but I can't quite do that yet. So I thought I could do it this morning and I can't. So we're just trying to finalise that with that person. So, but I hope to have a really interesting speaker for you. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to announce that. That's happening very shortly as well. That's where you walked into church today. That is the next area that we're renovating. That will be happening this year. We've gone through council. Council have approved it. It's currently before the engineers for that final building consent, whatever you call it, with the council. But that's apparently a fait accompli now. It'll happen. It's just process we've got to follow. And work will be starting in a few weeks' time. We have to work out the timing of that because for a couple of weeks you're going to be disrupted trying to walk in there. And what we're building there, if you look at the next one, is what we built on the other side over there. So it's going to be slightly different. It'll still be a walkway into church. But after church, we'll be able to close it off and it'll be another area that we can accommodate people. We plan to have barbecues out there and all sorts of things to really, over summer months and spring months, enable more connection to take place because it gets a bit crowded out there now. So we're getting ready for that. But that is well and truly happening this year. Also, we've got a big missions master planning going on in November. That's where we'll be working out what is the future direction of missions. We are never going to abandon Myanmar. We're going to continue to support that financially. But as I've said today, we can't go there. And we want to do overseas missions trips with you guys. We want you to be able to be part of that. And so we're going to be looking at, is there another country that we want to be a part of going forward in the life of the church so that we can actually get overseas and just be part of what's happening in another country? Missions trips are an awesome thing to be able to do. And it's so frustrating that there's this great mission field there and we can't even get in. And so we're going to be looking at that later in the year and we'll have something again to report to you come Vision Sunday in January. Christmas baskets are also coming up. Gee, can you believe it? We're talking about Christmas. For the last few years, we have given Christmas baskets to people that have come to our Green Monkeys program. This year, we are not doing that anymore. We've made a decision to stop doing that. Last year, we were so fortunate. There was a women's shelter, a domestic violence women's shelter that enabled us to partner with them, and we were able to give a number of families support there, as well as had so much money come in, we were also able to give a lot of those mums with their kids visa vouchers, they go and spend at shops for $100 each. This year we want to really ramp that up. So all our Christmas baskets this year are going to go to the women's shelter, and we're not going to do what we did last year we used to do like a production line where every basket would be the same. We're not doing that. We are going to tailor a basket to each family. So we're going to so I believe there's about 80 families that are in these domestic violence shelters that we have a connection with here at church. We're going to go and meet with the people that run these shelters. We're going to find out about every family in terms of they've got 3 kids? How old are those kids? Are they male? Are they female? What would you like for that family? What would be a blessing to them this Christmas? And we're going to tailor every single basket for those women that are stuck in domestic violence shelters that it's not safe for them to go home. We want to bless them this Christmas. Now, I'm really excited about that and I hope you are as well. But before you go giving money for that, this year, because we are doing that, that will actually be tax deductible if you sign up with Portside Care. So we have an account that is tax deductible, but it's only tax deductible when we are doing certain activities. This is one of those activities that will trigger this. So if you want to be able to give to the Christmas baskets this year and get a tax deduction, you will need to, if you can stand up for one moment. This is the person, stand up Becky and turn around. She's going to love this. If you go and see this person, this is the person that will be able to set you up. She's set up a system that you're going to get a number, and then when you have that number, at the end of the financial year, we'll be able to give you a letter that says this amount that you gave is tax deductible. If you just put money in the offering for that, we won't know who you are and we won't know it was for that. That won't work. So you need to sign up for Portside Care if you want to get a tax deduction Not for your offering. I can't do it for your offering, but for Christmas baskets, we can do that. So I really encourage you. You can do that at any time going forward. She's ready to go. But at the moment, it's just about signing up to say, yes, I want to get a number because this year I plan to give to the Christmas baskets. But I'm really excited for that. You know what? Our church is going to get nothing in return for that, and I love that. We're not even going to meet these people. You're not going to meet these people. I'm not going to meet these people. We're just going to be anonymously blessing people, and that's a really good thing. But know that you're going to be helping about 80 families that otherwise might have a miserable Christmas. I think surely that's enough just to know we're making a difference to the lives of people in these homes throughout Adelaide. So I'm really excited for that, and I hope you are as well. We are going to do something with Green Monkeys, but it's like we're going to do something different with those people. We're going to have a couple of mornings and just celebrate Christmas with them with some little treats here at the church. But we really felt, you know what, the time is now to shift this where the real need is. And so that's why we've made that move. And I think because last year we did that, the women's shelter formed some trust with us, because we were like, they were like, who are you? Why do you want to help? Which is totally understandable, because it's like, what's your agenda? What are you trying to get from us? So we just did what we did last year. We just gave. We didn't even meet with any of them, and they were blown away by the generosity of this church. So they've come back and gone, yeah, you can give it to all the families now. Because there's no agenda. We're not saying, now this is what we want in return. That's the difference. It's making them wonder, right? Let's go to the next one. This is going to be completed at the end of this year. I'm so excited for this new building that's going to be coming out here. This is just the first one. It's not only the building. Once we get to about December, you'll start to see the works happen on the ground as well. If I go to the next slide, there's massive playgrounds being built, handball courts, outdoor amphitheatres, shelters. It's going to look awesome. That whole section around where the building is, all that around there, is then going to have a full, I think, a $1 million makeover. It's going to be quite significant. And the next slide just puts it into perspective. The pink building is the one that you're seeing. There's a lot more to come, right? This is just the beginning. That's the pink one. All the other ones will interlock into that building over the next 2 decades. And so eventually you can go from the third level of that building and walk all the way around to the third level of the other building. It's been designed in a way, it's like a jigsaw. They all come together and the doors open up in between the buildings. So it's all connected. See how it wraps around the road? Then all the buildings that are currently in the middle here, they all get bulldozed. The whole place gets opened up. Kids get more play space. All the buildings are built where the noise is on the roads. It's a really good design that they've come up with, and I'm really excited for the future of this school. And of course, as I said, we weren't going to do the ELC till a lot later. Well, that's already done now, so that's going to just help us to grow quicker and to be able to therefore do some of these stages quicker and quicker. So it's an exciting time, but you're seeing the beginning of it right now. Can I go to the next one, please? We're also going to continue. People say to me, are you still doing the building works here? It's our plan to. We plan to expand this place as well. We need to in the future. The only thing that we're lacking at the moment is the money to do it. So once we have the money, we're going to do it. Can I go to the next slide? Just this shows you where we're at the moment. To do the first phase of this, we really need about 700,000. We can borrow about 350 for it. We as a church need to come up with the other 350. And we're at about 126 at the moment. If you have not made a contribution to this, can I encourage you to consider doing this now? The time has come that we really need to ramp this up. We need to be able to expand and build on the facilities that we need to be able to cope with this growing congregation over time. We would love to see that happen in the next couple of years. And so I would encourage you, as we've always said, go away, pray about it, see what you feel you should be doing. Some people come and give us lump sums. Some people just like to give us put in money each fortnight for the building fund, and they clearly market building fund, so we know where it's meant to go. If I go to the next one, there's the exact account if you want to put money straight into the building fund. But yeah, we're a bit over, I can't remember how much we needed, still more, but we probably need a couple of $100,000 more before we can do some serious works, and then we'll go to the bank for the rest of it. But can I encourage you, this is the time for us to invest into the future here. So it's there if you want to be part of that. I'm going to ask the music team to come up. I want to go to my final slide. I hope that you can see this morning that the church is in a healthy place. We are trying our best as a church to reach our communities. And I just wanted to thank you this morning. I hope that you find it encouraging to see what is happening in the life of the church. Just the sheer number of different faces that are here each week. It's incredible to see what is happening. I love the fact that the church has become very multicultural. How good is that? We need a multicultural lunch one day, I think, because we're missing out on some of the good food. That's the only thing. But we might look at that. But I love what's happening in the life of the church. I love what's happening in youth. I love what's happening in kids. Kids has gone gangbusters, what's happening out there with Kids Church. Ioannese has done a great job with that team, and they have done a great job working with the kids, and so many of those kids now wanting to get baptised, and there's so many good things happening. Youth with Nick and the team there, how transforming youth has been over the last couple of years. There's so many good things happening in the life of the church. And like I said before, it's because all of you are living out the vision. It's just those values: know, love, and serve. I can only encourage you, just keep doing what you're doing. God bless. Let's finish with a song.